Someone with a 1-year-old and 2-year-old myself, I sincerely want to say that this is kind of crazy. Like, the idea of recording yourself and recording the food you're going to make your kids and letting it be this for the social media to see, it's kind of crazy. It kind of makes me feel like they did it for views. But then I look through her page, and this is just something that she does every day, and she doesn't even really respond to the comments or anything. Like, she's routinely feeding her kids unhealthy things on a regular basis. Now, I'm not saying that I grew up with the greatest dietary meal plan, because that wouldn't be true. Honestly, I kind of felt for her a little bit, because eating healthy isn't cheap. As someone that eats healthy routinely, or at least I try my best to with me going to the gym or even me having kids for myself, it isn't cheap. But then at the same time, getting yogurt and some fruit for your kids to eat in the morning is just as expensive as buying powdered donuts, Pringles, and all the unhealthy cereal you have on top of that fridge. It's just as pricey. Like, it's not like you don't have the option to do it, you're just choosing not to. And I try to also go down the road of, maybe she was raised that way. A lot of people, like I said, our parents weren't rich. They didn't have money. They didn't have all the resources and tools that we had. Maybe she grew up eating like that, and that's why she's doing what she's doing right now. But then I also thought, like, when you go to the doctor's office, I'm pretty sure you're not telling them that you're feeding your kids powdered donuts. And also, as a parent, it was your responsibility to make sure you had money to give a sustainable life to your kid before you have it. Now, I'm not trying to spread any judge. I'm not being fat phobic in none of the things I'm saying. But I am going to say this. These comments was not nice to her at all. Like, she's going to look like Mama How Sweet. 40,000 likes on a comment is crazy. She proceeded to give her daughter this. She slapped some applesauce onto the plate and proceeded to give her daughter this for what some would call breakfast. Now, the idea of that being breakfast for a 1-year-old is, like I said, crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it is low-key teetering the lines of preparing your kid to be obese. Now, I'm not talking about you, and there's no fat phobia over here. But I do think that is such a thing as preparing your children to live healthy, normal lives. Okay, and now, like, this is what really took me over the edge to make this video, was like seeing that there's multiple videos of her doing this, and this isn't for view. She's like sincerely feeding her kid these things, thinking that it's okay. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you again. I'm not gonna go down the section of the comments talking about this woman's weight or how she looks, because I choose not to judge, and I don't really think it's that important. I'm actually more concerned about the kid who could be saved from their lifelong potentially bad habits. Like, teaching a kid that this is what breakfast is supposed to be growing up is not okay at all. But I can't continue to listen to this video because, like, I don't know if just y'all, like, if I'm the only one that can hear it, but the sound of her breathing is low-key blowing me. Like, I don't like hearing people eat. I don't like heavy sighs or anything like that. But, like, being able to hear somebody breathe is crazy as fuck to me. I'm not listening to it anymore. But there's multiple videos of her on this page making this and calling it breakfast for her kid. But it did get worse. Like, what I've also noticed is a lot of these people in these comment sections, or a lot of people making fun of her, don't have kids, obviously. So they're not going to understand the next part of this video. But then she proceeds for her 1-year-old for breakfast in her sippy cup to fill it up with milk, in which, okay, you would think milk for a 1-year-old would be good, although it's something you have to be cautious of. This is coming from someone with kids. She proceeded to put a protein shake in her baby's bottle, which I kind of thought was fucking crazy. Babies, specifically kids under 3 years old, does not have the kidney functions to even process that much protein at once. Combining that with milk is crazy. And then she asked herself why her kid isn't drinking it. It's pretty fucking obvious why she isn't drinking it. Who's giving protein plus milk to a fucking baby? We gotta ask ourselves, are we really prepared to have children before we do what we do? Again, coming from someone with a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old, and her claiming that she takes her kids to the doctor, one of the first questions they asked me when I took my kids to the doctor was, do they drink milk? Try not to drink too much milk because it contains a lot of protein, and babies can't digest that much protein. So yeah, I kind of thought that was crazy. So after those two things, and in these two videos I saw of her feeding her kid donuts and giving them milk and giving it milk and protein, I've come to the conclusion that we are entering the territory of being an unsuitable parent. I kind of do, because if you want what's best for your kids, you know damn well you're not feeding your kid donuts for breakfast. Not on a daily basis, but on a routine basis. There's obviously limits to the things that we're doing for our kids. And it's just like, that right there was when I really, and I mean really, put the fucking candle on top of the cake. That is where, now I am an American. I'm prepared to defend my country, although I'm not that proud of my country. I am willing to defend it. But it's very hard to defend it when it's people like this doing stuff like this. You could have air fried them french fries. You could have put them into the oven. It is no reason for you to be fucking filling up that dirty ass pot with vegetable oil as if it's water. Again, the gymnast in me, the calorie counter in me is going crazy, because if you look at how many calories is even in a single teaspoon of vegetable oil, you'll understand why what she just did is extremely unhealthy. That right there, you will understand the problem with what she just did. And even if you don't, I think that you have enough common sense to understand that her doing that just isn't okay. You're feeding a 1-year-old. It's not even good for your overall health as a person. But again, I said in this video, I'm going to try my best not to judge her as a person, because that's never what these videos are going to be. I'm not trying to bully anybody or anything like that. But I also question, like, is this person okay? Bro, you're on TikTok. You couldn't have made any better. Like, when you see TikTok food videos, a lot of them, they try to be as aesthetic as possible. Not going to applaud you for trying to be realistic, but this isn't being realistic. You just don't give a fuck. You don't care. You're just living your life as an unhealthy person and passing it down to your kid and not caring. And with that, I say it's not okay.
This is exactly what I was talking about in a previous TikTok about how plus-size people are constantly criticized for things that skinny people would never be criticized for. Please go look at this person's comment section and then take a look at their content and tell me that a single one of the people disparaging this individual even looked at the other content.
I did. And the fact that you're even making this video trying to defend her because of her weight just shows how insecure you are as a human being. You made this out of a place of insecurity. You don't even care about the fact that the kid was eating straight sugar in the fucking AM. What are we talking about right now? You edited this video, you rewatched it and added subtitles. I'm pretty sure you read the subtitles on your 4th time rewatching it and still decided to post this and just show the world how insecure you may be. What are we talking about?
Because you know, if this was a skinny person putting a few donuts on a plate for a 1-year-old, for a literal infant, no one would bat an eye. You would get comments like, oh well, at least they're eating, #food is energy. But because it's a plus-size person, automatically they are a horrible parent. They're lazy, they're unhealthy, they don't cook. I
don't know about all the other assumptions you just said, because I didn't come to them myself and I didn't see many of them in the videos that we watched. But I'm going to say this again. You're insecure and you're really showing it. And I don't care how skinny or how big or how buff or how small somebody is. If you're feeding your kids straight sugar in the AM on a routine, she didn't do it every day. I'm not going to lie to y'all. It wasn't an everyday thing, but it was definitely on a routine basis, maybe 2 to 3 times, even once a week, is OD. Developing habits like that in anybody, no matter what age you are, is crazy. You're just insecure and you just try to just pass it on us and then put yourself in a situation that you weren't even ready for. I'm kind of scared to see what she would have did if you got half the comments that she did. I do give it up to her. She didn't care about the comments. She's living her life. She's going to do what she want to do, and that's perfectly fine. What isn't perfectly fine is the fact that she's feeding her kids sugar in the AM. That's the only thing that everyone had to say. Again, there was comments talking about how she looked. I'm not going to lie to you, but most of them was about what she was feeding her kid.
So I've seen this comment a lot, and I've kept quiet. I've kept my mouth shut. I haven't said anything about you guys accusing me of abusing my child. But let me come to you with some screenshots, since you guys call me lazy but can't do your own research. Feeding any child is not abuse. There are many truly abused children in the world. Feeding my kids processed food is not child abuse. Now that's from HuffPost. Okay. But here's from the NSPCC.org. Here are the 4 types of neglect, because when people say I'm not abusing my kids, then you guys want to shout neglect. Physical neglect, such as food, like not giving them food, clothing or shelter. They have clothes, they have food, they have shelter. Educational neglect. My older 2 that are school age.
I appreciate the fact that she even responded to some of these comments. A lot of people will just ignore them and continue to just engagement farm. This girl's being genuine, living her life and feeding her kids unhealthy food. That's my only thing against her. Now, yeah, it's screaming you're doing the bare minimum, and no, it's not child abuse, but you are definitely on the line of it. Are you starving your kids? No, but you're setting them up to potentially have diabetes in the future. You're setting them up to have a bad expectation for what breakfast is. That's all I'm saying. That's all everyone else is saying. You going through all this, yeah, bare minimum. You're not getting any real applause from me. You're not meeting their physical needs. And all these things that you went down for what abuse, or I'm sorry, what neglect is, I'm gonna say this too. I don't need the internet to define what neglect or child abuse is to me. I think that's a very subjective thing. But let's say hypothetically I did go down this list of physical, educational, emotional, and medical. Don't act like it's not loopholes or like you can just take those things for what they are. Because I'm pretty sure if I gave my kid powdered donuts for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, let's say if they didn't die, or if they didn't become a past tense being, that's abuse. But according to your thing, no, it's not, because I fed my kids. Let's say I give my kids shelter, but I never let them outside of my house for 18 years. They see nothing but their room for 18 years. Is that abuse neglect according to you? No, but it is. It is. So let's stop this thing. Let's just stop. Just acknowledge that you're feeding your kid bad things and move forward. And I'm not going to continue to like dance around this thing, because I hate the fact that people do it. And that woman really interjecting herself into this, trying to defend this without even really attacking the point that everyone else is attacking, also blew me. So that's going to be it with these videos. It's like every single time I record, it's never a good ending. I'm never happy by the end of it, but that's it. I love you guys more than I love myself. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment down below your take on all this, because my take is that people shouldn't have kids. And I'm out. Peace.